boys, be honest, what makes a girl instantly unattractive? If she treats animals and waiters/service or retail staff badly, you can easily judge the character of a person by how they treats those who can do nothing for them. Some old-time dude, debatable who exactly first said it, had a variation of this conversation with my 9-year-old this morning. She has a friend who is a lovely, kind and gentle human, except that she is very rough with animals and plays with them in ways that could hurt, or at the very least, scare them. Daughter was horrified by her friend's behavior. I explained that her family don't view animals the same way we do in our home, so when she is around our pets we need to make an effort to model gentle and respectful handling, and if she is being too rough I will verbally spell it out for her. My daughter said, she is a really good person who just doesn't know better. And it got me wondering, at what age does that reasoning no longer cut it? I would never excuse adults mishandling animals or treating them cruelly, so at what point do we start holding people accountable for kindnesses that they were never taught? This is a tough question. I adopted a dog from one of my dad's friends because his new wife was from a foreign country and he couldn't trust that she would take care of the dog properly. She was a good person, a good wife to him, but where she was from, a dog was considered a dirty animal that you don't keep in the house or as a pet. They were to be kept outside and for work. So unfortunately when he would go to work the dog would be put outside. It would get fed, but no petting, no love. So he decided to find a loving home for it, which ended up being me, and I loved cared for that dog till he passed away at 15 years. This obviously goes for both girls and guys, but when they focus primarily on themselves during a conversation. Was talking to a girl a few months ago, and it eventually just kinda hit me just how much she talked about herself or would steer conversations towards herself and her problems. My social anxiety freaks me on this one because in order to seem engaged my brain goes, oh yes. Can relate to that. Hear my story. And 90% of the time I don't realize it until 3 AM when I'm laying in bed agonizing over every single thing I did and said to other humans that day. I do this too, and a great rule I've set for myself is to ask them follow-up questions about their own story before sharing my own. Sometimes the follow-ups will lead to other genuinely interesting stories from them and I don't even end up telling my own. People think I'm a good listener now, which, in a way, I guess I am. I did this tactic once but I was so nervous about not messing up with the girl that it more or less turned into a bit of an awkward Q&A. In hindsight I should have tried a second date because I could tell she was just as nervous as me and we were very attracted to each other, but hindsight is 20/20 and my eyes are screwed. Hard to put it all into words, but I guess the best way to explain it would just simply be approachability. I know it's vague but if I get a weird vibe from someone that just makes it uncomfortable to be around them even for basic conversation then I don't care about anything else, pointless to proceed. Some people give off really positive and friendly vibes that make you want to be around them and spend time with them. Some give you the impression that they want nothing to do with you. I think you said it very well. Unfortunately I have that unapproachable look too but I don't do it on purpose. My face just has a naturally sad/cold expression. But I don't like fake smiling either just to please others when I don't feel like it. I truly envy those who give off positive/friendly vibes by nature but I'm just not one of them and it's extremely hard to pretend. Luckily I don't date ATM, I'm in a long-term relationship, cause first impression is not my strength and it gets tiring when people keep asking me why I'm so sad when I'm actually not. Having said that, there was a guy who loved this beautiful sadness around me, his words, he said it made him want to console me all the time. So I'll just link my reply to someone else since it's also applicable to what you said. But trust me I fully get what you mean, I hate putting on a fake smile too. First impressions can be tough, but what truly counts is effort. Also, just to clarify, this applies to both platonic and romantic relationships as well. I'm sure all of us know what it feels like to get rejected or at least feel rejected when we go out of our way with someone and they give you this weird vibe that seems like they couldn't care less about you. I'll go the other way. Took a girl out for a date. Soon after I met her, and first time we dressed up. I was college poor and had a manual car with no reverse. I usually find a space I can pull through, but it was crowded and I did. I forgot that and walked her to my car with her in a nice dress and heels. Embarrassed, I told her to hang on while I pushed it out. Without being asked and without missing a beat, she said get in and steer, and she would push it out. I wanted to marry her right then and there. A couple of years later, I did. Thinking you, as a straight guy, want to have intercourse with them just because they're female. You could be a very attractive girl, but no, I don't want to have intercourse with some rando. I'd rather build an emotional connection first. It's not alien to them, but when I've rejected women before, it's usually met with, oh, I didn't know you're homo, or didn't know you had a girlfriend, unfortunately usually after they've grabbed my sausage or butt without consent. No dude, just keep your pervy hands to yourself, you creep. It's funny, because some chicks think that I thought you liked when women make the moves. There is a difference between being forward and making the moves first, versus plain non-consensual civil behavior, and to make matters worse, assuming you'd be okay with it just because you're a guy. My ex-husband was at the pub with a friend and they were there to watch the footy grand final. I worked there at the time and was coming a bit later. When I got there was a big table of those types of office worker looking chicks from 2014 wearing those huge chunky statement necklaces, tight top on, sparkling wine red lipstick type of clones. Anyways, when I showed up, X gave me a hug and whispered that the leader of their pack was trying to chat him up, but as he was there for the footy, and not giving her the attention she expected, she asked if he was you homo or something. He told me he burst out laughing and grabbed his friend for a big old hug and cheek kiss. So she looked confused when he hugged and gave me a kiss on arrival. She was glaring. Just the arrogance. If she has no sense of direction in life or depth of character, that is very unattractive. A personality, beyond what's on Netflix and the current buzz on Twitter, is what I find attractive. A lot of girls are missing depth and character. A lot of guys too, people in general. People nowadays either lack depth or are too insecure, they hide their depth and passion. I say we all run widely towards who we are in our hearts, and not towards what the masses and our apps are screaming we should be. Discover yourself and your direction in this life, and don't be afraid to be the good that you are. Have and protect some morals and values. Spend less time on social apps and more time reading and checking in on your loved ones. Give to the less fortunate. Learn a new skill and nerd out over it. Stop updating your story every 20 minutes. Escape the attention economy. Believe in something higher, look past society. Take accountability for your reality. Love passionately and stand up for good in the world. This is how I picked up baking, Korean cooking, and painting recently. I realized that I was just going through the motions every day and not enjoying life. Still suffering from a plethora of mental issues, but taking it one step at a time, as they say. Getting off of the majority of social media platforms has helped immensely. Talking to people and stepping out of my comfort zone is a skill I'm also working on. It's hard out there. I'm not sure if this is some of what you were talking about, but your post resonates. Please like and subscribe for daily content. I love you. Being psychotic. This one girl stole my friend's sweatshirt and violated his personal space. When I went to go grab it back for him, mainly cause he was working on a school-related thing, she said, "What are you going to do? Hit me?" I walked right away before I get my life ruined. I later found out that she did this to get back at me. Prosecutors are more so pathetic towards women in that regard, and I didn't want that in my life. She also convinced everyone I liked her when I was not at all interested. My mom said I broke her heart. My friends beside my 3 closest bring her up constantly. Women who abuse their control are horrific. Men who abuse their control are horrific. Abusing control should be a red flag. Psychotic is having delusions and hallucinations, being completely disconnected from reality and not knowing what's real and what isn't. What you described is just an unstable but not psychosis. Just saying. I wish people wouldn't throw around that word. Talking about an ex or constantly asking about yours. I never talk about an ex, especially in a negative manner. My answer is always we decided to move on and ended the relationship respectfully. If someone trusted you enough to let you in that close, then talking is a stab in the back no matter how the relationship may have ended. Secondly, I cannot stand people who flake or are clearly playing games. We are not in high school and I am not going to chase after you. Leaving someone on read and not responding to a question for days at a time is an instant turn off. Life happens, but it is clear when it's done on purpose. I just delete the number and don't bother. Bad hygiene and bad manners. Like someone who doesn't wipe their mouth while eating. Instant turn off. Bad smell or unkempt hair, not salon perfect but just lack of washing or brushing, instant turn off. Dirty cloths, instant turn off. Bad breath, turn off. It just shows that for someone at my life stage, you lack basic self-care skills when you really shouldn't. Another one is just lack of basic self-management skills. Broke all the time due to overspending? Turn off. Can't keep a job? Turn off. Etc. all for the same reason. You just lack basic skills that you should have at my life stage. Just got out of a relationship a month or so ago, so I can say these are some red flags. Arguing with her parents for no reason at all while I'm over there taking forever to respond, and when confronted she says I've been busy even though she is on her phone all day texting other people while leaving you unopened/delivered. Also texting other guys even though you've said how it makes you uncomfortable. Constantly leaving you unopened, and when confronted she always says sorry I forgot, even though I was pinned on messages/snap/all that. Lack of respect for boundaries, cancelling plans last minute multiple times a week, any kind of manipulation and or abuse, whether it be emotional, physical, whatever. As for people you're looking into maybe trying to have a relationship with, lack of care for others, too much care for others, lack of respect towards things I think are important, i.e. don't litter, lack of hygiene, etc. Oof. Yeah. If they're interested they'll give you attention. Or should. Yeah. She wasn't mentally stable and kinda blamed part of it on me. Been really hard. Really hoping therapy helps because what I originally said just scratches the surface. I recently let go of a long-time hurt. Like 27 years ago now, I learned a person I carried a torch for has a personality disorder. He was abused badly as a child and did not learn how to love, or expect protection, or to trust. When we met he yearned for ideals he'd read in fantasy novels. He wanted to be a decent person. For a long time I thought I wasn't good enough. Tarnished in some way? Nope. Literally did not have the capacity to receive and appreciate love at that point in his life and not self-aware enough to know it. So much compassion for both of us now. Except for the age difference. 14-19 was not okay. Not taking initiative to make plans, then acting irritated that I can't think of something she'd want to do. Example me, where do you want to go tonight? Oh, I don't know. Wherever is good. Me, cool. How about a movie? Well, I guess, but we did that last week. Me, okay, how about restaurant? We go there all the time. Me, trivia night? Or bingo? I don't feel like drinking. Smoking. Sorry to all smokers, but it is what it is. You know that feeling you get when you hold your breath and dive underwater, and then you get that strong urge to surface to exhale and take a deep breath. That's what it feels like for me around cigarette smoke. So if we're together and you light up around me, you're basically saying you don't give a that I feel like I'm suffocating. Also it stinks and it makes you and everything you wear stink, and it doesn't matter how much perfume you put on, nothing drowns out the smell of cigarettes. Vaping I don't mind so much, at least I can breathe normally around that, and it often smells like a flavor instead of a cremated corpse. Being selfish or rude in general. I was into a co-worker for a little bit and I found a 20 under the fridge at work and decided to let her know about it so she could feel good about herself if she tried to get it back to its original owner. Right? That was my first thought, how a good deed like that should work and all. But nah, to her that was the universe giving her a gift, and it was apparently wrong of me to sit her down and explain that someone out there is out $20 and that it probably sucks to open your wallet thinking it's there and finding out you lost it. She unironically sat there, screamed at me for being an A and trying to take the one good thing to happen to her today away, and started actually crying because I wanted to give somebody their money back. In all my life, I've never physically felt emotions leave my body, but pretty much whatever I saw in her stopped existing around that point.